o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Everyone, please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let the record reflect all council members are present this evening. And Pastor Brown is here. Would you like to start us off this evening?
Let's pray. Father God, we are thankful for another day to enjoy the freedoms that our country offers. We thank you so much, Father, for our town, our community, and those who live within them. And Father, I especially want to thank you for the event last night. It's so good to bring people from our community together to have fellowship and get to know each other a little bit better. Father, I ask for your blessings on this meeting tonight. Ask for your guidance. Any discussion, especially if decisions need to be made. And we ask it all in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jody.
Amen.
All right, we've got minutes from our November 24th meeting, starting with the regular council meeting minutes here.
Move that we approve those minutes in the 24th meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We also have minutes from the RDC meeting, same night.
Move to approve those minutes from the RDC meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Redevelopment Commission. And we will proceed with reports, starting with Will.
Code enforcement, I issued 6 more code and ordinance violation notices. Things like no parking were posted, subdivision. Inoperable vehicle and boat trailer, it's been removed. Placement at curb for collection, that's a public works violation. The trash receptacles makes it hard to plow around. And then if they're sitting out to curb forever and the wind starts blowing during the storms, it blows into the street, yada yada. Another dog at large. Tagged 1 inoperable vehicle, that was the boat and the trailer. Like I said, it's been removed since. 0 more permits for golf carts. I think those are done for the year. And under utilities, completed 23 more locate tickets since the last board meeting. We did snow removal 3 times, salted 3 times. That's it.
How's the remediation at the place on Adams going? He had such code enforcement issues. That house there at the corner.
So he went through the court process, paid his fines, and I've noticed that it's kind of pointless because they go through the court process and then it's out of my hands and then they pay 180. It was just like the constant dog barking issue over here. That person kind of laughed in my face about it because he just paid $180 and kept his dogs rolling, you know. So.
As I recall, though, isn't there some kind of another way that they can file them where they would actually compel action?
Yeah,
Like,
say you
yeah,
do this, then we have to find a way of proving that. Then I don't know how the whole court thing really works. It was.
So I thought when we were down there last time, they said something about that they're mainly just going after if you file them as unpaid ticket, they're just trying to get the ticket paid. But if you say this is an action, they have not complied with the warning or the, violation notice, that they could do it that way. And then it's not even about the money, it's about compelling action.
Okay.
So I don't know how to do that.
I do. If you need help,
Okay.
let me know.
Okay.
Yes.
This was called getting an injunction. We get an injunction to either stop somebody from doing something or to compel them to do something. So
Right.
if paying the fine isn't resolving the issue, then
Okay.
let me know what the address is and what the history is, and we'll
So,
go get a court order.
yeah, so basically he did a bunch of cleaning up, but still a bunch of cleaning up in that case still wasn't
Right.
good enough. But he did bring in a whole crew of people, a bunch of trucks, trailers, equipment, and got a bunch of stuff.
But he still
Okay.
has compliance though. He still has stuff to do.
It's gonna take 3 more of those deals that he did, probably. But then again, when I spoke to him, I told him, you know, and I was pretty new at this, I told him I just want to see some improvement, you know.
Mhm.
So technically he did do that, but he still,
Okay, but we do have recourse.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, the other thing we might want to do is just revisit the ordinance and what are the penalties that are available under
Sure.
under the ordinance.
All of them
because-
reference back to 10.99 in our ordinance book, which is referencing the state code that says $2,500 a day for non-compliance.
Well, I would imagine $2,500 a day will get somebody's attention a lot better than just paying $180 for a ticket. So if we need to try to enforce it under that, we can go that route too.
So,
Just have to just email me the name and the history on it, and then we can talk through whether we need to take a more direct approach.
thank you.
Anything else for Luke? Think how to do this here. Let's go ahead and proceed down the list here. Jennifer, do you have anything for us tonight?
The only thing in your packet, we did receive our 1782 notice, so our budget was approved by DLGF and sent in. Want to say thank you to all those that helped with the Christmas tree lighting. Turned out to be a really nice event. And thank you, Luke, for out on the streets and keeping them going. And then, so policy handbook, I failed to advertise that meeting. So would you guys like to reschedule a meeting to revisit that?
I could probably do Monday, Wednesday, or Friday next week.
Monday would work for,
Yeah, I'm good, good Monday or Wednesday. Monday's the best. 15th.
We just doing that in the evening.
whatever you guys want to do.
I'll be available in the evening.
Okay. Tim, Pam?
Good.
But I don't know that I'll be able to make it any night next week.
Okay.
My daughter's having surgery, so
Mm.
depending on how that goes. Just go ahead and schedule it and don't worry about me.
Okay.
December
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
On
15th.
Monday. If I can make it, I'll be here.
I will call Kathy. She said she would try to be available by phone. That way if we had any questions.
Okay.
And I will advertise this one.
Sounds good. Have notification for the rezone. Is that something that?
Yes,
you're
that's in
taking
your
care of?
packet. I talked to Alex about that, and so I went digging through the plan commission files and found like a legal notice.
Yeah.
And so that's what I typed up. I sent that to Sue today. It won't go in the paper till Monday, which will be fine on our days.
Okay.
So that is actually advertising
Both?
both, yes. So I don't know if you want Jacqueline to pay for some of that, or if you just the extra for her under our government amount is like an extra $6 to put her on there.
Okay.
So
I think if she could handle the notification of the neighboring properties, which could be as simple as her taking this and copying it and sending it to them.
I think that's fair. And then we need to do the same thing for. our
Yes, and I do
neighboring
have
properties.
that ready, and
Okay.
I did talk to Jacqueline today, and I told her that's what she would have to do. Now, my question to you guys is, when I was talking to Alex, who, do you guys want me to send that to? Just I think the directions were saying, the neighbor's 600 foot.
It's 2 properties away.
You guys actually
Yeah,
can
he said you
decide,
can
so you
make
can
it.
use that as a guideline, but who gets notice, who qualifies as a neighbor is entirely at the discretion
Okay.
of the committee. So if there's somebody else that you think is just outside of 600 yards, but you believe has a legitimate interest in knowing,
Then
the
you could go ahead and
commission
extend that to
dictates,
them.
yes, the neighbors who get the notice. So you just need to tell them, here's who all you have to notify. And then otherwise it's the public
Sure.
notice. So the public notice goes to everybody. Then
Right.
there's a specific notice that goes beyond, and it says one extra thing, which is you have a right to attend and object.
Right.
I'm say, go ahead. Mark.
Well, like both of those properties, the adjacent property to the east is a large farm parcel, right? And so I don't think we need to worry about going beyond that. You know what I'm saying? And that probably fits within that guideline as well for distance. But heading west, 2 properties deep makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know what you all think, but I think it's as reasonably as we can, 2 properties deep makes sense.
I think everybody on Central clear down to, the Second Street, the one where the new house is.
Morris?
Yes, no, more
Jackson.
for Jackson. That whole block, I would just
Yeah.
send them on.
Would it include those 2 farms, or it used to be Jenkins, I don't know who they are now, or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about is notifying that property owner, but not necessarily going all the way over to,
I can tell you who it used to be, but I don't know who it is
Yeah.
now, so.
Bealers now. Isn't it Bealers?
so
That's
I don't know,
Jack-
do we need to actually make it? I'm not looking at a map right now.
Just let me
Right.
know. They're ready
Okay.
to go out, so if somebody
Okay.
wants to.
I'm off tomorrow. I can send you a list of
Okay.
parcels.
Yeah.
I guess parcels and
That's fine.
addresses.
Okay.
That makes sense. That
Yeah.
seem like they fit that guideline. Okay.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
All right. Any other questions for Jennifer? We already got code enforcement. Alex, do you have anything for us tonight?
The only thing pressing is just the litigation is still going.
Sure.
There's a status conference in that case actually tomorrow morning. There's not a lot that I expect to happen. We're in a delay period right now because we're waiting for the county to respond.
Right.
We've done everything we need to do, but the county asked for extra time to give their response, so everybody's kind of waiting on Hamilton County at this point. But we do have a status conference tomorrow, so if we'll find some out. I'll let y'all know.
Okay. I think outstanding that I could think of that I'd asked about last week, there's a potential dispute over the road up here.
Oh,
Tiffin
yeah,
County?
Craig mentioned that to me. I know we talked about that very briefly. I have to go back in my memory here, but as I recall, Andy got some sort of email from the attorney that represents Tipton, and Tipton was saying, no, that's your road. And when he first brought it to me, he said, well, it's never been our road. And I said, well, wait a minute, why do we care if it's our road? Then that's better for us.
Sure.
That's as far as it went. Nothing was ever asked of us to
Well,
go work with Tipton to try to figure it out. I think you guys were talking about if we do make it our road, can we pull in other neighborhoods?
the big concern to me would be, it seems that, as Luke said, people come to him. People are being turned away from Tipton County when they have a road complaint and they go to the street department there.
Okay.
They're saying that's Atlanta's problem. That's not ours. It's not on our road inventory. We don't collect taxes from it. It's Tipton's road. It's on their road inventory.
Okay.
If they want it to be our road, I'm happy to take it.
We just want the tax inventory.
Correct.
Got it.
And they're saying all the way back to, I believe, when a rezone happened out there by the subdivision in like 1996 or 1998 or something like that. They're trying to use that date. Well, if that's the case, then maybe
What's
we
the
can
date,
get
Mike?
something
I'm sorry.
extra. I don't remember. Sometime in the 90s. Do you remember when that happened?
I don't.
When was When was the subdivision, when did that break ground?
It's,
Uh,
there's been a lot of different people involved in that, but I, for some reason, it was
Very
in my
first
mind,
one.
96, 98,
That's
somewhere
one.
in there.
That's when.
And so if that's the case and they've been collecting road money on it all that time, if they don't want to have it anymore, can we say, all right, we'll take it if you pave it or
So
something like that?
maybe the starting point would be for me to reach out to Tipton's attorney
Yeah.
and open the conversation there. I don't know if you still have access to the email that Andy would have gotten from.
I can ask him,
Tipton's
see what
attorney.
communications he
Okay.
has got.
That way I just know
Yeah.
who it is, because I don't know who Tipton's
Sure.
attorney is. I have to go figure it out. But if we've got an email that
Yeah.
clearly identifies who it is, then that's an easy starting point.
Okay.
But we can write a letter to him and open that conversation. Do you guys on that front have a map that will show exactly where they're saying it belongs to Atlanta, what portion of it? And when you say we haven't been getting the tax revenue from it, can you identify the parcels that you're talking about along it? Because the road itself isn't generating taxes. I assume we're talking about the parcels along the road.
But as I recall, though, there is a road inventory that goes along with each municipality.
Who's paying the taxes?
That's a good question. I mean, historically and all over the state, the southern boundary road is the county's road, that county's road. The northern boundary road would be I'm not saying this very well, but that's them not wanting to have it anymore kind of breaks with convention, I guess.
Right. It's always the county is responsible for their southern boundary.
Okay.
It's been my understanding.
and
Now, I don't know if
also-
that's changed or.
The only annexing that happened was, again, on our side. We haven't crossed the line, but just like a quarter-mile stretch or something like that. And they're saying this whole part that's adjacent to the town of Atlanta's boundaries, they no longer want anything to do with,
Okay.
based on that happening.
That annex.
So
back
they're not
in
talking
the
about just that little part. They're saying because that little part happened, now this is all you. We don't want to take care of it anymore.
Got any idea how much in tax revenue we're talking about?
No idea, but we're talking 30 years worth of tax revenue, you know?
All right.
So I don't know. Either way, I think we owe it to be able to at least give a solid answer to people as to who's responsible. And I don't want it to just become ours somehow by default. I think there needs to be some kind of a formal process there and maybe something exchanging hands. All right. Old business, you have printed out from you from Crossroad Engineers, a proposal for engineering services for paving. First off, we got our paving grant.
Yay.
We are funded for paving next year, which is awesome.
Can you send me that email too?
Yes, I'll get it. I'll send it tomorrow. But our engineer, obviously, they wanted a substantial amount of money to help us through the rest of that process. I reached out to another engineer that was recommended to me from another engineer that I know, and that's this proposal that was printed out here. It's less than what our engineers were asking for, but it's still a lot of money. So then I reached out to our engineers and said, hey, this doesn't really fit our budget. What can we do to reduce the scope of work so that it would be more budget friendly? And that's what you have here from Fleece and Vandenberg. I had two other engineers that I did not get in touch with. If you all want me to do that, I can. But they've reduced their scope of work to a point that seems pretty reasonable to me. There will be some additional effort on our part through this process, but I don't think that it's anything that we won't be able to work through. So they've reduced their ask from 45,000 to 19,000.
They went from 41 to 19.
45 to 19.
45.
Yeah.
What does that put on us to take care of instead of what?
So services not included. On-site resident project representative was a daily representative, wasn't on their other one anyway. They said they'd come out like once, I think, during construction. But on-site oversight of utility construction, daily services, which again, not really there. Geotechnical investigation, so survey work and stuff like that, which I don't know that that's necessary. Review bids and recommend an award. Prepare construction contracts, review shop drawings. I don't know what kind of drawings we would have. I don't think there'd be any. And then site visits during construction and the closeout documents with the state. So the closeout documents with the state, Jennifer, there's some kind of a portal and you kind of can work through that pretty easy, right? The reviewing of bids. So here's what they are doing is part of what this is. It's not limited to this, but they would prepare the bid packets. So that has all the bid specifications in it. So then everybody's bidding to that. And so then our considerations are basically who's bidding in the dollar amount, as far as I'm concerned. So I personally don't care if we have an engineer to recommend us a contractor or not. The construction contracts might be something difficult, but I would hope that we could get some help with our attorneys on that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was writing.
That's all right. We've got
Just nod your head.
for this paving that we're going to do. Would you be able to help us with contracts for the company? Okay.
Do you want them written or do you want them reviewed?
Probably reviewed. I would imagine that the contractor would have some kind of a standard contract that they would present. So anyway, point being, I think we can work through these things that they would no longer provide.
There's no way that we're going to have to pay somebody else extra to do.
I've not seen it, but I've never done this before. So
So do we need to decide tonight which one we're going with, or have we pretty much decided we're going with the cheaper one? What, are you looking for a vote, or?
I would hear a vote.
I tried to look back. I didn't have time to see what Triad had charged us
Yeah.
through all that, and I haven't had time to actually go through that to see what the difference is. You know, I mean, as far
Sure.
as
I know some of this stuff was stuff that we just took care of in house, and I don't know how to do all that. So
I know that he said that once it's approved, you gotta act pretty fast.
Yeah.
So do we have
you've
time
got
to
90
wait
days, as I recall.
to get the bids in?
Yes,
So we probably ought to go with somebody tonight then
that's
and
probably
get
a
it
good idea.
rolling. And that's the engineers that we've dealt with
Correct.
previously.
Yeah, they've helped us on some other projects as well. I don't have any reservations about them, the services they offer.
Well, I make a motion then that we accept their bid.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, library, I don't have any new news on. Let's go to new business, and before we deal with either of these things on the agenda, we have a gentleman here from Utility Pipe Sales, and he has a couple meters to show us. So this would be a competitor to, yeah, but I'm blanking on the meter. Neptune meters. So, ready when you are.
My name is Matt Steinkamp. I'm with Utility Pipe Sales. We've got an office, Office 70 in Indy. And also I work out of the Evansville office in southern Indiana as well. So we've been selling Zinner meters for 12 years now. And got those. I'm kind of our meter guy. Sell meters in Indiana, Illinois. We've done meters and AMI systems. That's where, you know, the radio networks that all the reads come back into City Hall. I've been doing those for 10, 11 years now. So that's kind of all we've done. So I appreciate, you know, Murray giving me 2 hours to talk to you guys all about meters. I do run the risk of doing that, so I'll try to be brief in my role. At Utility Pipe Sales, I've just kind of become the de facto meter guy. When I started, I was just a territory salesman, sold the first couple of meter systems, and we got to realizing, hey, we're just not dropping off a stack of hydrants or a bundle of pipe. When we sell a meter system to a city, we've kind of become partners. We need to make sure that the city is comfortable implementing, using this technology, getting the value out of it, getting the readings. So I kind of just got the battlefield promotion to become the meter guy. So I started making sure that people were getting the training and the support that they needed. So that's what I've been doing. That's my role now. So just actually got a crate of rings and lids in the back of my truck, and I was just delivering stuff to Kirkland down the road. So we've got over 75 AMI systems in Indiana and Illinois. We do a lot of them. I've had a lot of experience with it. One of the things that I do think is unique that I'd like to talk about with our meters is we are not proprietary. Our radios, our endpoints will connect to our meters. They'll connect to anybody's meters. So it's a very, you know, open source approach. So you're not locked into one particular type of meter going forward. If you need to switch a different piece of brass, you can do that. It's not, doesn't lock you in. One of the nice things too, and I got like 6 copies of this, so I'll pass these around. Murray asked that I bring some prices, because I know you guys have been talking about how many copies I needed. But we have a couple of different options. And the newest thing that I'm really excited about is, in the past year, Zinner's come out with a cellular option. In a lot of cases, the AMI or the radios, you put an antenna or 2 up in town, all the radios chime into that antenna, and that's how you guys get your readings every day. So if folks have leaks, problems, you know, with their meter, where they're using water, somebody at the city can be aware of that every day. And instead of going to somebody after 26 days of the toilet running and letting them know, no, you had a leak, and problem is now you owe $2,200, you know, for a water sewer bill. With a lot of those older systems, you could get all the data and prove to somebody that they owed you $2,200, but it didn't necessarily help. Didn't help the customer pay it, didn't help you guys collect it. So with the AMI systems, you guys can see those leaks and help the customers, help the homeowners react a lot faster before things can get out of control. One of the nice things is we have been selling that type of antenna system. That's what our friends at Kirkland have. It's a lot more competitive price, the way that it works. But one of the nice things about a smaller community is that that radio that Luke's grabbing right there, that is our cellular endpoint. What's nice about that is that antenna, you can put 2 of them in, you can put 5 of them in, you could put 50 of them in. You wake them up, you turn them on, you get your readings on those 2, 5, 50. With the other antennas, that radio works great, but you got to have all the antennas up on the water tower. So that first antenna only cost you, you know, $135, $145, but you need $40,000 worth of antennas to get that first radio to work. With the cellular endpoint, that $155 radio works all by itself. So you guys can put those in as time and budget allows. Put them in and grow your system. You don't have to take such a big first step to putting all the antennas and all the infrastructure up to get the first radio started. So these really can gradually build on. They're not new in the industry. Several companies have been putting cellular antennas out, and I've spent 10, 11 years selling against them and telling you all the reasons why you didn't want to go with cellular. One of the big problems that a lot of folks have had with cellular is that you don't own the antennas. Sure, you can hop on AT&T or Verizon or whatever company you guys go with. Number one, those only are good 3G, then 4G, then 5G. So when that technology moves on, the 200, 300 antennas that you guys bought 5 years ago may or may not be good going forward. So when you go to the cellular antennas, the technology may move past you, and then you guys are stuck having to replace all your stuff. So that had been the drawback that we'd had for years. What is unique about the Zinner antennas now is that cellular endpoint, two things. That antenna is good on AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile. Same antenna, same endpoint. It works on all three providers. So if you have, which I can tell, I've got AT&T, I've barely got one bar in town. So it is nice that you have several options. It can hop off of whatever system you guys need it to hop off of. And the big thing that I really like, and this gets difficult to get into, but those cellular antennas now have a LoRa chip, LoRaWAN, and that is a new communication protocol, and that allows them to talk to other antennas in the network. Satellite LoRa is a thing. Starlink is something very similar to it. And this is a new technology, which is, a lot of people don't realize your Ring doorbells have a LoRaWAN antenna in them. Google Sidewalk has. So there are new communication protocols that are coming out. Internet of Things, IoT, if you guys have seen any talk about that. But there are new communication platforms that are coming to the country now. They're already here. Those are built into our cellular antennas. So you're not locked into just AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile and those cell towers. And that's a big deal. That's a game changer in that if down the road 5G goes away and it becomes 7G or 8G or whatever technology moves forward with the cell companies, you guys aren't stuck having to switch off of that technology to another antenna. LoRaWAN is out there. It can seamlessly switch over to another technology. And so that's new. I like that as an option for a utility of this size. If you look at your two quotes that we gave you there, the cellular antenna ends up being just a little bit more expensive than our first antenna, which Luke's got in his hand. That's what Kirkland's got 300 and something of, and they've had them for 7 or 8 years. Those work great, but with the cellular antenna, I don't need $40,000 worth of antennas on your water tower, startups, backup antennas, and all this other equipment. So the difference is that the first antenna that we had, our mesh antenna, it costs about $1.25 a year for maintenance for Zinner for the website. The cellular is about $6 a year. So if you guys had 350 antennas, and I kind of made a point in the quote, our annual maintenance, our big antennas, like we would put on the water tower, the repeaters, the website maintenance, all of that stuff is about 20, actually, I don't have to guess, I had it right here, 27.5, and that covers all of the equipment, warranties on our big antennas, and maintenance on all of that stuff. With the cellular, it's actually cheaper. It's $6 a year, 50 cents a meter for each radio. So you guys have 353, I believe. It's just the last count I had. That number may have changed, but that's somewhere in the right ballpark. So at $6 a year per radio, you guys are at $21.18 a year. And that covers the cellular fees, the website hosting fees, all of the data, what you guys would need to get on and manage and see your readings. And at this size of a city, the cellular really is a good option. If you guys had 3,500, well, now that's 3,500 times $6 that gets to be where the $40,000 antenna and the $1 a year, if you guys have 35,000, you know, as the cities get bigger, the infrastructure antennas, you start, $6 a meter starts to get a lot more expensive when you have 3,500, 35,000 more antennas. But at a price range that you guys are at, that cellular really does make a lot faster payoff, and it's a lot easier to maintain.
Can you talk, before we start actually talking meters themselves, what's the, so this signal is sent somewhere, what's the?
Cellular, so
Sure.
that antenna is just going to hop off of AT&T, T-Mobile, wherever. It
Yeah.
goes to servers in Texas. That's where Zenner's headquartered, right outside of Dallas. They've got actually redundant servers either side of Dallas where they manage
So
all of that stuff. And so you guys would access all your readings on the website. You know,
Okay.
when you guys want to.
is there a way that tie into, like we use, is it key billing?
Keystone?
Keystone? So you've got a plug-in of some kind there, or,
Yeah, the way that works,
okay.
our friends at Kirkland have Keystone.
What about, and I don't even know if this is a thing, is there, if there was odd use or a leak or something like that, is there any kind of a customer notification that can happen automatically?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is a.
So they could get a text or a phone call or something, hey, something crazy's going on.
Yes,
Yeah,
your
okay.
homeowners can sign up for that. And what's nice about Zenner's portal is I'm sorry, I didn't put it down here, and you can jot it down if you want. It's $1,250, basically a one-time setup fee. If you want to have a customer portal, then any of your homeowners can sign up, and it is, I think, $3 a year. But that's only for the ones that sign up and use it. With a lot of the other customer portals, they say, well, how many customers do you have? 350? All right, what's that price? Most of your homeowners aren't going to sign up for it. And the ones that sign up for it, half of those don't even go through the whole process of finishing up and getting their email set up and everything else. So what Zenner's found is usually about 10 or 15% actually get signed up and use it. But that's fine. For the folks that want it, they have access to it. They can get alerts, text messages, email alerts, how much they're using. But what's nice is, regardless if they sign up for it, you guys have access to it. The city sees how much water they're using, who's got a leak, who's using water that's turned off, who's using water that shouldn't be. All of that stuff is available to you guys, and it lets you guys manage that asset, you know, that revenue.
I like that cellular idea, but let's talk about the AMI deal. Am I correct in saying that could potentially read existing radio read meters that we currently have?
Those are always proprietary.
Okay.
Everybody's radio is their own radio. So if you've got Neptune drive-by radios, we don't read the Neptune radios.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is one thing in this country is everybody's radio is private.
Sure.
We can't read each other's radios.
Can
So
you put
if
your radio on their meter?
I can, to a certain extent. We do work on a 3-wire meter. It's the Census protocol, which is an open protocol. I don't know if the Neptune meters you have a wire coming out of them. I think they've got a coax cable that goes up to a little antenna. So their radio is integrated into the register.
Right.
They don't actually have an external.
So you don't have a way to read their signal.
You can take off their register and just leave the hunk of brass. And I've got a retro register that will retro to their hunk of brass. Basically,
Okay.
black
So that
plastic.
top, the actual
That can
head.
come off and pop onto their head. It's locked in there with a little lock nut. But that can be done. That saves you guys $45, $50 worth
Sure.
of brass. I don't know how old your Neptune bodies are.
I can't remember, Jennifer. Do you
They're
remember?
probably
10, 12 years old.
I think they say.
So what we're looking at is, I'm not sure that we could do this all in one go. We might have to do it in stages. So trying to kind of see what the different options are there, what that would look like in that crossover period too.
Yes. How that typically works, if you're transitioning from a drive-by now to a fixed base, what's nice is you can start, number one, the meters that aren't working. This one's dead, this one needs to be replaced, so you don't have to replace those with an existing drive-by. You can swap a dozen out to the Zenners. So when it comes time to the month when you'd read the meters, go to our website, pull down those readings for those 12, bring those into Keystone. Then Keystone has 12 of the 350 already in it. It would send 348 or 38 off
Yeah.
to the drive-by. You go read the rest of those. Next month, I've got 35 Zenners in.
Yeah.
Then you keep whittling that down. So it's not a big deal. You bring in 2 sets of imports into Keystone. Keystone prints your high-low audits and all of that stuff. So part of what I've done over the years is there to do a lot of the training and support, sitting through the billings with them to make sure it's all coming in, it's all matching up, and everybody's comfortable. Usually I always tell people is, I'm here to do all the training until you guys are tired of seeing me and you want to get me out.
That's all in the quote, right? The training.
That's built into, well, the big antenna had $40,000 worth of that infrastructure and training and quote. The 9100 is the software, the setup, the training, and that's all built into that. And so we're built into that. At least for the first year, if you guys have any issues, any questions, something I have learned is early on I would tell people, if you got questions, we're here to help you all the time. And my boss is like, we can't keep giving you away for free for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. But when you have new folks come in, new folks that need to be trained 3 or 4 years down the road, not a problem.
Sure.
Good news is I'm around, I'm close. For a lot of other folks, it's either you're on a web seminar, or they fly somebody in from Texas or wherever they got to fly somebody in for training. So we're closer. We are a lot easier to work with when it comes to training and support.
Now, what about the meters themselves? So what we currently have, what takes a lot of them out is the battery.
Mhm.
What's the battery setup on your?
The big difference, the things that I do think that set Center away is, I still like our mechanical meter. That's the black one there. It's a multi-jet meter. It's a 15-year accuracy warranty. It's got a battery, and that piece on top that does have a battery, it's covered for 10 years. If the battery dies, it's covered. It's all full replacement. After that, you can replace that part for like $30 or $40.
Just the battery.
Just the battery.
Okay.
The hunk of brass under it, that's good for 15 years or 15,000, 1.5 million gallons.
Yeah.
And they're not going to wear out after that. Like, those things are very reliable. I can get really deep into the weeds. That's a multi-jet meter. It's a velocity meter. It doesn't work on tight tolerances. With your types of meters that Neptune sells, and Sensus and the other ones, as those plastic surfaces start to wear, they lose flow. They lose accuracy. The plastic wears, and the little bit of wiggle room you had on the edge of the plastics to keep them all tight, they start to wear. If you make them too tight, they won't move.
Sure.
So you've got to leave just enough wiggle room so the things move. But as that stuff wears, then that 1/6400th of a
Water
gap
could
is
start getting by
now,
it.
it gets bigger. And so what I typically, if you guys are at 12 years, if you're at less than 500,000 gallons, if it's a low mileage vehicle, as it were, it may be worth keeping that hunk of brass in for another 5 or 10 years. But if you're north of 500,000 gallons, you're getting closer to 10, 12 years. I don't know what your water quality is, if you have a lot of mineral,
We do.
manganese.
We have quite a bit of lime and calcium.
That stuff builds, and it wears on those surfaces. So I just don't know if replacing the register off the top and keeping that brass body is worth the effort,
Probably not.
the manpower hours and the trouble. Are a lot of yours in pits? Are they in
Yeah,
homes?
they're almost all in pits.
Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I quoted him with the lid locks.
Yeah.
And so like what you've got there. So it's time. I mean,
Sure.
the AWWA standard, they look to replace meters every 10 years. So that's kind of where the industry's at. So you guys are due. You're in the ballpark for doing that.
Now the ultrasonic meter,
I
does accuracy become affected as minerals build up on there over time? Like say 15 years from now, is that going to be as accurate as it is today if it's had 1 million gallons of high mineral water run through it?
if you had a heavy buildup on the inside, two things. One, it could interfere with the sound traveling
Sure.
back and forth. Not as much if you went from an opening that big to an opening that big.
Yeah.
Now you've changed the math.
Right.
You know, it's counting on reading across that column of water. If you've all of a sudden reduced the size of that column, you could be affecting it 5, 10, 15%. Hard to say. One thing I will say, and I only brought that because I know we had talked about that in the
Yes.
past. If you had high volume customers, if you had folks that are using a lot of water, I like an ultrasonic. For your commercial meters, I like that. Where I still am a big fan of a mechanical meter on the residential side, I was mentioning this to Luke. If you guys have a 2,000 gallon minimum, a significant portion of your customers don't meet minimum. They're between 1,000 and 1,500 gallons a day. One of the calling cards of the ultrasonics, of the non-moving part meters, is they're ultra accurate. They're going to get you 99.9, not 97. Okay. Even if that's true, you might pick up an extra 2 or 3%. If that's a 1,500 gallon a month customer, great. Now we got 1,650. It's still not meeting minimum. You're still getting the same revenue. Now, if you picked up an extra 2 or 3% on a 2-inch meter, you might
Right.
be billing them for $300 a month.
Right.
That ends up being real money on your commercial meters. So the other issue is a lot of these ultrasonic centers in particular, and almost all of them on the market that I know of, are all European. They went to mag meters and ultrasonic meters a long time ago. The European standard for the European Union is every 5 years those meters are replaced. So if you're replacing your meters every 5 years, battery life is not a big concern.
Sure.
At least Zenner does have field replaceable batteries, similar to our mechanical meter. I'd have to pop open the screws on it, but there is a replaceable battery that is replaceable in the field. So at least Zenner has a field replaceable batteries. You can get 10, 15 years out of our ultrasonics. I don't think that's the case in the rest of the industry. Those meters, when the battery goes bad, it's time to throw it away and get a new one.
Right.
So the return on investment for our mechanical meters is much better. I like the multi-jet accuracy. You don't get the slowdown. They don't wear like the volumetric meters do. So we've been a big fan of those, and I just haven't had a ton of issues, especially on the 3/4 and the 1s. You get to the 1.5s, 2s, 3s. I do like the all electronic meters, but for most residential meters, that's the way to go. So our warranty, and I could include that on there, but it's 10/20 like everybody else. Basically, all of our meters are covered for 10 years from the date of manufacture or within 6 months of being shipped. So those are covered 10 years, and then the 11 through 20 is a proration, which isn't really a manufacturer's warranty, it's a marketing strategy. What they're telling you is at year 12, we'll give you 80% of that meter. We'll sell it to you for 20% cost. We'll give you 80%, but that 20% is off the 2035 list price.
Sure.
We don't know what the 2035
Right.
list price is going to be. So the calculus is we're going to sell you the first 10, 15% of your system at a pretty good deal. And then the remaining, that way we've got you pot committed to buying
Sure.
the rest of the 75, 85%. It's a marketing strategy. You have a 10-year warranty. The rest proration, you can cross that bridge when you get to it.
Right.
What I like about ours is under that manufacturer's warranty, if you get into the proration period, you can look at 75% of replacement cost, or just replace the ETR, or just replace the batteries. I mean, we have options to where you can replace the parts with what you need to replace, not allowing manufacturers to do that. So, again, I apologize, but I can get really deep in the weeds. So I do
appreciate it.
I do try to. I remember when I was a kid, I was with my grandma and grandpa, and they were in Sears. And this was when glass top ranges were a thing, not induction, just glass with the heating element under it. And I remember the guy at Sears was telling my grandpa about this Kenmore this and how self-cleaning, and it does this and it does that, and he just stopped him and says, "Does the damn thing get hot? That's all I need to know. Does it?" So sometimes when I'm talking about all this stuff, I have to back up and just say, does it get hot? The meters work, you get your readings daily, your customers can see them. When you have a problem, when you come in on a 2-degree day in January and the water plant is going through twice as much water as it always does, where can you find that?
Yeah.
Is it running in somebody's basement? Is it running down the street? Where can you help folks find those leaks in real time? Your water and sewer revenue, if you look at it's your biggest line item on your budget every month. This kind of technology helps the city manage that asset, that liability, because it's an asset and a liability, lets you guys manage that a lot more effectively. So that's the biggest thing. I'm happy to talk more at length with anybody. We can take a drive, hop down the road, go look at Kirkland, and I can give you references of a dozen more folks that have had my meters for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. So they're the second largest meter company in the world. So
Is there any way we could kind of see that customer portal?
sure,
Get
yeah.
an
I can
idea for
pull
what
up-
that looks like?
I can pull up a website. I can give you links. Anytime.
I'd be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, happy to sit down whenever you guys want to talk about it. Talking about the customer portal, one of the nice things about either system, whichever kind of AMI system, whether you guys do the antennas or the cellulars, all those readings go to a website. So what's nice is there's no software for you guys to keep on a computer to read the meters. As long as you can log on to a website with your username and password, you can pull up your readings here, at the water plant, anywhere in town, heaven forbid, on your phone or on your laptop at home. I used to joke about that because folks would have to, why would you want to work from home? A few years ago, a whole lot of us had to work at home. We couldn't get out of our house, and so you have that ability. So anybody that needs to be able to get in, to get your readings, to see who's got a leak, to see who's a problem, that's done anywhere. So if you get a new computer, I don't have to turn around and tell you, oh, well,
New software.
you need new software, and we've got a great system for Windows 14, but it only
Right.
cost you $8,000.
Right.
So we don't do that. As long as you can get on a website, you get access to all your readings, all of that stuff. So all of that annual maintenance, the website maintenance, is part of that $2,750 for the antenna side, or the $2,119 or whatever it was. That's all
Yeah,
built
that's
into that hosting fee. So that's just part of the annual fees that you would have. And so that always kept up to date.
Any other questions for gentlemen?
Appreciate it.
I do appreciate it. I should have business cards inside the envelopes.
Yeah.
I've got extra business cards here. Give us a call anytime.
Yeah.
We're happy to answer any questions, all right?
I'll be in touch to try to at least get some kind of
Yeah, I'd
better
be happy
idea
to
of
come
the-
up one day, and if you guys sit down with you, do you do the billing? You nodded with Keystone. They looked at you when they brought up the Keystone, so
Yeah.
I'd be happy to sit down. I know Thomas and a lot of the guys at Keystone that I deal with a lot. They definitely have a lot of systems, so almost all my Indiana systems work with Keystone. So it's really pretty easy to work with. So I'd love to show all of you guys that.
yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
Good
I
afternoon.
appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
All right. Got to step backwards here, old business. We still don't have a signed baseball contract, but I did print out what some of the communications were. This has been a month ago now almost, but when I sent the contract, the changes I made were those sections there, and I will email you all of that contract so you can actually go through and look at it and read it. But they're just, it's pretty simple changes. Some of them were about, I was thinking through how to, I don't want to over obligate whoever we're selling it to, with like fixing a leaking toilet or something like that. Obviously the dates and all that stuff have changed. There's language in there specifically about contact information being provided both directions, with the change of ownership. Took out their mowing through the end of the season deal, or through the end of the growing season. There's a couple other little changes, and so anyway, I just figured that would be useful to y'all. I'll email that to you The other thing is, this kind of falls under old business. We talked about how the rescue has a problem. I got the phone call on that today. Tell them go ahead and fix it because I don't know what our option is here. But it's $2,500
Oh, the,
for the flywheel and the starter on that truck. So I wish we would have been able to catch that sooner, but it is what it is. So they said they'll be able to have the parts soon, and hopefully it'd be done the end of the week, but we'll see. So that's through here, Chevrolet Truck Center. Anyway, there's that. New business. So we've got the Jackson Fire Territory. Jackson Fire Department Fire and EMS agreement. And I think we've all had this for a little while. The only differences here, unless I missed something, was the amount.
I think it's the same. It's the
Yeah.
same amount.
And it's total for the year would be $49,526 in 2 installments, June 30th and December 31st. Half each time, 24,763. I think it was it like 3% or something, or was
Yeah.
this one a bigger jump? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think it was over 13,000.
So that's more than 3%. So I'm off on that. I don't know if, I mean, we clearly don't have another option. They do provide us very good service. But it's just kind of the way things are going. It seems like costs keep going up.
Move on that.
I think so.
Yep. I'll move that we approve this contract, Jackson Township.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What's to stop you from going with like Grand River Township?
Nothing. That's also a possibility.
You want to do mine, Maria?
It's your special.
That's what I that way you can keep your.
I'll take yours. Started filling it out. Parties here too. So we don't put the date here, I'm assuming, because they've got to sign it still.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there are other names. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. Confused the whole mess here. I think everybody else is on that second page there.
Can I ask what the status of our old, what is it, the grass truck was out at the water?
Still
plant?
there.
Still there?
We need to list that thing for sale. I actually saw something the other day. I haven't looked into it yet. There's now a website that specializes in helping evaluate and sell old fire trucks.
Sweet.
And so I'm going to look into that. I took the address down. I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Good deal.
But either way, that thing needs to go.
yeah.
And somebody will want it. It's a neat old truck.
Yeah.
Just been sitting there for a few years.
Don't leave that layer.
Okay, well, that's making its way down the line. We've got the 2026 salary ordinance. Are we wanting to pass this tonight, or do we just want to introduce it?
Whatever you guys want to do, but it has to be passed before the end of the year.
So we could do this at our next meeting.
We can do it at the
Okay.
next meeting if you'd
Let's do that if y'all don't mind. I'll introduce it and it'll be available for public review until that meeting. So this is ordinance number S-2026, and it's the 2026 salary ordinance, and it'll be available right there for public review until our final meeting of the year. Okay, I don't have anything else on the agenda, nor on my list. Does anybody else have any new business? Any questions or comments from anybody in attendance tonight? Yes, sir.
I'm trying to find out, to just what the process or the details are about the sidewalk repairs.
They can't hear him. Can he
Okay,
stand?
yeah, if you wouldn't mind, actually, sorry, we've got a live stream thing going on now. So we're, general, how about name and where you live if you want?
My name's Austin Norris. I live at 200 East Meridian right here.
Okay,
Yeah, down the street.
okay. So what we have is several years ago, we had somebody go around town and do a sidewalk inventory. And the federal government actually has an unfunded mandate. Thankfully, there's not a deadline on it, but to make every sidewalk ADA compliant. And so they surveyed every sidewalk we have and they graded them from best condition to worst condition.
So they've already decided.
So
Well, they made a recommendation.
we have them all graded, inventoried and graded, but it was unfunded and the town hasn't historically had the money to
Yeah.
start actually replacing them. Well,
Yeah.
we've made a commitment to actually start moving that direction. We did $25,000 worth of sidewalk work this year, and we put, is it 30 for next year? I think. So we've set money aside for next year as well. But our goal is, just so that it's fair for everybody, to try to kind of work in and around those areas that were graded worst first.
Okay, and that's already been decided.
And that part has been decided.
Gotcha.
Now, there's ways to potentially get something done more quickly. I know the town in the past has, say, if somebody really wants a sidewalk and they're willing to pay for it, the town would then say, okay, we'll come and do all the tear out for free, and maybe we'll give you the stone to go under it.
Yeah,
But having the sidewalk put in is on you.
yeah.
And Mrs. Teal here, she did that at a couple of places that she owns. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But as
I
far as
Yeah.
we can't just, unfortunately, we're not in a position to just go by request.
Yeah,
It's
no, I just
kinda-
wanted to know the details really because
Yeah.
I saw the work being done. I didn't know if the state was paying for it, the neighborhood was paying for it, but I understand that's all has to
Right.
be worked out and
And
stuff like that.
The
But
other
that's all
thing
I
too
wanted to
is
know.
we're trying to wrap them into any projects that we can too. So for
Right.
example, this paving work we were just talking about,
Right.
anywhere that we're paving, where there is a sidewalk running alongside that segment, we've built that into the project too. And so
Right.
try to think 200 Meridian. That's Meridian Broadway.
Yeah, if you go to right down here,
Okay.
the church is there, not the house on the corner, but the next house.
Sure, the blue house there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gray, but yeah. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know where that one falls on that list. But I know
That's
that's
okay. That's
not
enough
in one of
information
those.
for me.
Yeah, I know that's
Yeah.
not in one of those segments that we
Okay.
were doing any paving work on.
Okay.
Is there currently a sidewalk?
There is, and he
Okay.
actually, they put substantial work into digging it back out.
Oh,
It
do you
was
see me out there? Yeah.
I own the brick faced house kind of across the street.
Oh, the gray house with
Yeah.
the blue. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I saw you guys out there working on it.
Yeah.
They put a lot of work into digging that sidewalk back out because it was completely covered.
Yeah.
So,
So.
but there's not much of a sidewalk there.
Right.
It's-
Well, that's kind of why I'm asking. but,
Yeah.
You know, but that's okay. That's enough for me.
yeah.
Okay. That's all I
Um,
wanted to know.
And to be honest with you, I don't know where that one fell in the grading. We could probably try to look at that and find out. Maybe that one is
You definitely-
closer to the top of the list than some of the others. I just don't have the information in front of me to tell.
That's
you.
okay.
So,
Yeah. It's winter. Well, spring's coming.
yeah.
So that's my background. Thank you.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you.
Murray had a question.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up. Why are we pushing so hard to get our owl replaced from water utility?
Well, we're on our fourth violation, number 1.
So I want to bring up some of those violations, like with the meter pits that weren't numbered. Luke, have they ever been numbered?
So
I didn't even
That
see
was
that
the-
on the violation.
the wellheads,
The wellheads.
no, they've never been numbered.
Is it a new thing? A new requirement or?
Yeah, it wasn't ever cited on another violation that I know of. But that's besides the point that the wastewater violations were hit. But beyond that, it's $40,000 a year to somebody that we can put some of that money towards somebody that could be here all day, every day. And the fact remains that we're just, I think that's what, from where I'm sitting, that's what we need. we need another person that can be here all day, every day.
What were the other violations?
I don't have them in front of me, but there was stuff at the wastewater plant with, I mean, simple things
One of the
like,
tanks being
like-
changed or something.
well, like discharging without doing labs and stuff like that. Like, they're honest mistakes. I understand why it happened, but the fact remains that we got a violation out of it.
Luke, do you have thoughts? What's your input as well?
I want to know exactly what the violations were.
You can read them. They're on the state website, or I can email them to
That's
you.
why I
Whatever.
don't want to speak too much. I want to know exactly what the work. I don't know what my thought about the wellheads. I was told to get numbers for them right after the did. This is water side. Right after our item inspector left, I was told to get numbers for them, so I assumed that we got violated for that. The other violation was an exhaust fan in the water plant. Hasn't worked for a while, and some of that stuff goes on now, but it's been that way all along. Changed.
Sure, I'm not blaming him for those.
And so I think Chris, I don't want to speculate. Chris's question is it because of the violations? Is that why you?
I just think it's a lot of money to spend for somebody that's not here all day, every day. And if somebody was here all day, every day, even if those weren't on who we have now, and nothing against Al, I like it. He's trying his best for us, but he's not here all day, every day. And he might have caught a lot of those issues just in the course of doing his daily work, instead of trying to be in and out doing the what he's required to do to be compliant and leave.
So we're gonna put somebody in the same spot if they're getting violations that we hired?
What do you mean?
Like if we hire somebody new and they're getting violations, are we gonna be putting them on the hot seat as well to remove them?
I think that's a fair thing to be concerned with. I mean, it's a big deal.
But when you have people calling IDM constantly, that
They come out and they do their inspection and they are trying to find something.
I've literally had people tell me that they intentionally call IDM to try to find something on us.
So they're going to try to find something, and I'm saying that some of the stuff is frivolous, like the chain around the chlorine tank, which, by the way, they cited Andy on, and he actually, the material is here. He bought it to change it and didn't have a time to before we fired him. So some of the things are frivolous like that, but then there's things like discharging without doing labs. That's not frivolous. That's a big, big deal.
And when was that violation?
That was the June one, I believe.
How much was discharged? Do you remember?
I don't.
I'm trying to put a situation.
It was the better part of a day.
To that.
I don't even think that there's. I don't know if there's.
Because I remember once he discharged, didn't get good numbers.
Yep.
So then he shut down the discharge.
Right, and that's actually how I wrote the letter to IDEM, and then he said, "No, you got it wrong. It was actually the better part of a day." I came back later, and I had to change the letter.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a mistake, and to some degree, it's an honest mistake. But the fact remains is that's a big mistake that's potentially costly. We're already on the edge of an agreed order, which means no more development, no more building, no more nothing until you do something with your sewer plant.
We had a full-time person before, don't we still need a full
Yeah.
time person? I mean, I don't understand how you can go from one to the other.
Again, how much more would you have to add on to that to have somebody here all the time? Even if it was double, we'd be money ahead because we're paying somebody a few days, part-time that you wouldn't be doing. And that doesn't even count, Fred's come in and helped. I've helped with a ton of stuff. Like, that's free labor the town is relying on. I've always tried to help with stuff, but this year's been crazy.
You were talking about seeing the violations on the website, IDEM's website.
Yeah, all that stuff's public record. But if you all haven't gotten them, I can forward you everything that I've ever gotten from them.
Okay.
I don't think I've gotten them.
again, it's not, I don't mean to disparage anybody that's helping us currently. I just think that our situation is still not ideal. And I think some of these problems would be avoided if we had situated ourselves differently with the people that we have helping us.
Has anybody applied yet?
We've got two.
Do we? Good.
Are they the same two we've had, or?
Same two.
It isn't that,
Not yet, Neela. I haven't had a chance to get it.
oh, I know that we were talking about that. I don't even know what that was.
Indeed.
Indeed, I hadn't heard that.
They're the same two that we interviewed before, or?
You guys, they've been in your packets before. It was Thomas Lane, and then the other one was from Elwood or Lapel.
I believe you interviewed the individual from Lapel or spoke with him, correct me, Murray?
I don't believe I ever did.
I
Thought
thought
somebody
that the original, when we were looking for somebody, I thought you had talked to them.
I had talked to somebody that was recommended by an engineer. Darren, I don't remember.
He was from someplace south of here.
Yes, and he wouldn't be able to be on site every.
He
He could
would
be here on site every day, but not full days. He'd be here on site to operate the plants, and that's it. And he seemed like he would do a really good job, but that still doesn't get us to where we need to be. And that's the same problem, you know. That's to me, that's the Al problem too. Is we need full-time people.
I will say that I had an engineer come in here and she talked about the smaller communities are contracting together because of, you know, the finding a full-time utility person. Andy's salary just for utilities was only about $53,000.
We're not going to find that again. I don't
That's going to be hard pressed to find somebody.
But if we had to, let's just pull a number, just because for, you know, I don't think that somebody making 100 who's a qualified professional in a very specialized industry is outside of the realm of possibilities in the world. Let's say, I'm just throwing a number out there. We're paying 40 for somebody who's here maybe an hour a day. How much more would you get if somebody was here, if you paid them a little bit more than double, and they were here to actually truly try to manage all of the town's day-to-day concerns, and work through things with, you know, we've talked about maybe you taking on additional roles or something like that too. I mean, I don't know, but I kind of feel like we're still, we have an organizational problem that requires management and manpower to fix, and I don't see a way around that.
One of my concerns was that Al be held up for stuff that wasn't his fault.
Sure. I don't want that.
The pond condition when he arrived, and if the wells were not a violation, not being labeled, if those weren't a violation,
that's not listed as a violation.
Okay. And then chains around tanks and the exhaust fan's not working. I don't want Al being held
Me
up
either.
for stuff that wasn't his fault. And
No, the water one was a little bit different. I'll grant you that.
is the discharge thing part of the pond condition when he arrived? I don't know, but if it's a thing where we need a full-time position, you know, he could be an option for that too.
I don't think Arcade would be real happy about that.
I don't know.
He has been offered to come here full time, I think.
It's a public meeting. I mean, he talks to me in confidence and I don't know. I mean,
That's,
we're both,
that's not a subject for this meeting.
right?
No.
No. I don't know. That was my worry. And then another thing is the town. I don't know what's best for our town. So if you guys, that's your guys' job, and I trust you guys. And even if it upsets me, which doesn't matter, that's it. So be it.
Are you looking, Murray, for somebody who's a jack of all trades, wears many hats, or are you looking for a water and sewer guy?
I think that the utilities would be the primary, but it should be somebody that has a fairly broad set of qualifications or past experience. I mean, we're not going to replace what we have.
Well, I think in some ways that was good, and in some ways that was
Correct.
bad.
However, like there's constant reminders always. Like for example, this $2,500 we're paying to fix this truck would have been something that Luke and him would have done here, and we're
did
just
do
not.
that. We did
Sure.
last time.
And the start went bad, and that happens sometimes.
Shredded the work that
But the
we
point is that we weren't in a position to do that again now,
did. Right, I agree with that.
right? And so things like that, or like the storm sewers that I helped them replace, you know, if I wouldn't have been available to do that, I don't know that we would have been able to do that without hiring that out.
What about some of the grant work too?
Well, in this paving deal, like we're talking about right now, he handled a lot of the bid specs and all the communication with the contractors and the inspections and things like that. And so it's not that these are, it's not that there are other solutions to these problems than having the one guy who can do everything, but we're so far away from that. Can we get somewhere back in the middle?
I would like to see some middle ground where it's not
Yeah.
all our eggs are in
No,
one basket,
correct.
because
And-
I would never
yeah, I
want to be in
agree.
a situation is you hire somebody, he's great, and then all of a sudden he gets
Well, we
paid
need to
more
have-
somewhere else, and we're back in the same spot where
I agree with you 100%.
I think we need to have somebody who does the water full time, like you're talking about.
Yep.
But I don't want to
Runs
spread
our
that person
utilities.
so thin and give
Right,
them
and so
so
that's where
much
we've
stuff.
talked about before, maybe we break off the streets and Luke can do streets if that's something you're still interested in. I don't know, that's a conversation that needs to be had.
That's in an executive meeting for.
Right, and when we look at our organizational structure, I mean, we have job descriptions already written out, they're actually in that salary ordinance that you've got in your packet right there. And so you can see what all those different hats are, that all of Elena's potential hats, and then how do we divide those up?
I just wanted to have a discussion on it.
No, fair enough. And I want to say again, I'm grateful for the effort that everybody puts into the town. I mean, Luke, Al, Matt, you know, everybody's working hard. I'm not saying they're not, but I think we can make things better.
What's the pool like for? I mean, there can't be that many people who have this specialty.
So unfortunately, there is a shortage across the state of operators. But all we can do is advertise and see what we get. And maybe there's somebody out there, maybe it'd even be somebody a little bit older. Maybe there's somebody that's wants to leave Indianapolis and come somewhere smaller, quieter, and you know, I don't know. You never know. We just got to advertise and see what comes in, I guess. So. Anything else? Is there a motion to sign our claims and adjourn?
I'll move that we sign the claims and adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Out.